Hello, my name is Ian Larkins of Radius Law and welcome to this special edition commercial bulletin brought to you in association with LexisNexis. This month we look ahead to review the legal changes we are expecting in 2018. There will be some changes for UK corporate governance in 2018. We will see the impact of the EU directive on disclosure of non-financial and diversity information. This directive requires certain companies, including large traded companies, to provide more information about their future intentions. This includes their impact on employees, respect for human rights, anti-corruption and anti-bribery. This is applicable for financial years that began on or after the 1st of January 2017, so we will see the changes with the financial statements that are filed in 2018. In 2018, we also expect to see Mrs May's package of measures on corporate governance implemented. Mrs May had originally hailed these as a day of reckoning for the British boardrooms, but the proposals have been watered down over time. Nevertheless, there are still some changes, including mandating all listed companies to reveal the pay ratio between bosses and typical workers, the creation of a public register to identify companies that have had significant shareholder opposition to executive pay, and an initiative to give workers a voice at the boardroom table. The reforms will be in force by June 2018 and apply to company reporting years commencing on or after that date. The General Data Protection Regulation, the GDPR, will be in force on the 25th of May 2018. This will replace the current Data Protection Act and brings a raft of new measures. The headline being the hike in max fines from £500,000 to the higher of €20 million or 4% of turnover. Other significant changes include tighter rules for obtaining consent, particularly for e-marketing, and new data breach reporting requirements. In addition to the GDPR, the European Commission also planned to replace the Privacy and Electronic Communication Regulations, PECA. The updated regulation is primarily designed to catch new technologies such as WhatsApp that currently sit outside of it. More alarmingly, the current draft of the new regulation requires positive consent for all direct marketing, not simply electronic marketing, although it's anticipated that the UK may remove this requirement. The draft regulation states that it will come into force on the same day as GDPR, the 25th of May 2018, although this date now seems ambitious. Finally, all EU member states must implement the NIS directive into local law by the 9th of May 2018. This directive is intended to ensure that there are minimum cybersecurity standards for operators of essential services, OESs. There will then be a further 6 months to determine which businesses are an OES. Employers in the private sector with at least 250 employees must publish gender pay differences by the 4th of April 2018 and annually thereafter. The information to be published includes the difference between the mean and median hourly rates of pay and bonus for male and female employees. From the 6th of April 2018, all payments in lieu of notice pylons for existing employees will be taxable and subject to national insurance. This is a change to the current position where non-contractual pylons up to £30,000 have generally been tax-free, as they have been considered payments for a breach of contract rather than a contractual right. The government, however, believes that the current system has allowed employers to manipulate exit payments to minimise tax. The government had announced that shared parental leave that has allowed parents to share up to 50 weeks leave and 37 weeks pay since 2015 will be extended in 2018 to include working grandparents. However, the government has not yet announced any definite dates for this change. We expect to see the outcomes of the 2 leading worker status cases in 2018. These cases against Pimlico Plumbers and Uber challenge the employer's contention that the individuals they engaged were self-employed and therefore did not have the right to minimum wage protection or holiday pay. The Pimlico case is expected to be determined by the Supreme Court in February 2018. The Uber case, which covers very similar ground, is expected to be heard by the Court of Appeal. Whatever happens, it will be welcome clarity to this confused area of the law. Employers that wrongly assess the people they have engaged as self-employed rather than employees or workers risk significant claims. The recent Sash Window v King case has allowed an individual that had been wrongly classified as self-employed to claim 13 years of backdated holiday pay. In addition to the court decision, we also expect to see the government's reaction to the 2017 Taylor Review that had been prompted by cases similar to Uber and Pimlico, often referred to as the gig economy. We expect to have the Court of Appeal decision in the ASDA equal pay case in early 2018. This is an appeal from the Employment Appeal Tribunal that decided that there was equal value between staff engaged at their stores and their distribution centres, and that accordingly their pay should be comparable. Now, whatever the outcome, we anticipate that there will be an appeal to the Supreme Court. There will be new rights for shop workers to opt out of additional Sunday working hours and new duties on employers to notify employees of Sunday working rights. These provisions are expected to be enforced in 2018, but no specific date has been confirmed yet. Somewhat later than expected, it's likely that a new European law to ban geo-blocking will be effective in 2018. Geo-blocking is a practice that usually takes the form of redirecting customers to websites depending on where they are located, and therefore allows the trader to discriminate against customers based on where they reside. There is still no exact date that the European member states have reached an agreement on the new regulation. It will soon be published in the EU official journal, and the law will be enforced 9 months from the publication. Thank you for tuning in to this month's Commercial Bulletin. For more information on any of these stories, please contact Radius Law or my colleagues at LexisNexis. We'll be back in February with more of the month's key legal updates.